Usually when TikTokers come or like celebrities, you are on Young Hollywood or you're on like an interview for a reason because
Right.
they want to know about a certain subject. In the back of your mind, we might not ask about it, but we want to know about it. Just like you guys.
What in the world is good, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in. You're rocking with the boys over at Man to Man, where we create a conversation between the modern day dating world, couch conversations, a little bit of basketball. This is your co-host, Andy Elliott.
Alongside your co-host, Liam, the Hoop Star Nash.
I guess we got Coco in the back. Hoop, what you thinking, Coco, hanging out with us? Come on now, rock with the Yorkies. Hey, listen, we got a fire interview lined up for you guys today. Modern day dating world. We got our second female on this episode. If you guys are struggling out there, you know what I'm talking about. You guys getting on the Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, Grind, whatever you want to do. You're buying shots for women at the bar and they're just not talking to you after that. Listen, we got you covered on all the tips and tricks. And hey, Hoop, me and you even learned a little something after this one. Please enjoy our interview with Young Hollywood's Jolie Live. Alrighty, once again, you're listening to Man on Dash Radio. We're switching things up and talking man to woman as we bring on the co-host and producer from the multimedia entertainment company, Young Hollywood, Jolie Live. What's up, Jolie?
What's up? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the interview is being interviewed, how the turntables have turned.
That's why I was like, I didn't know how to get ready for it, like mentally or whatever, because I was like, I don't usually do this. Like, I ask all the questions.
So we'll be asking you all the questions. And how are you said you're in LA, right? How are the UVs treating you in the Golden State right now?
Oh, trust me, anytime, I swear they like dictate my entire life. Anytime I can like bring my laptop in the sun, I'm trying to get as tan as possible.
Okay, you hear that, Hoop? She's in the hot girl summer mode again, and we can't do nothing about it.
Hot girl summer.
It's like always hot girl summer in LA and Nashville. We're like rainy, and then I don't know. I got to get like a hop into the tanning bed before I can get out there.
Come out to LA.
Okay, cool. So we'll break it down to you. I guess for those that are listening, what is Young Hollywood for the people that may not know?
Young Hollywood is a digital entertainment industry. So we post obviously all over the internet, YouTube, TikTok, just everywhere on the internet you can find us. But we basically showcase like what's in, what's hot, what's now, and basically who's Young Hollywood. So like odds are if there's a breakout star, like we're talking to them, like we're giving you the information about like basically what's going on in Hollywood and all over the place.
Okay, so it almost sounds like it's an MTV where the idea of like Young Hollywood was created and ultimately grew into this popular like nationwide network.
Yeah, so it's been around like more than 10 years. I joined before like during COVID, but it's been around, you know, so it definitely has a really good reputation, but we're basically just showcasing what's really hot like right now.
Okay, so it's not like a TMZ where it's just like gossip and rumors. You guys are trying to stay away from that.
Yeah, we don't really dive into that. Like we have like the reputation of pretty much like we're friends with these people, you know what I mean? Like we build really good relationships and people trust us. So
okay, cool. So saw you recently interviewed George Sear from the Hulu series, right? Love Victor, and then the Martinez twins. One guy couldn't speak English, thought it was hilarious. And then
sitting there, we were like, can someone tell him what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like it's so funny. And then at one point or another, there's been major celebrities that have gone through this thing, like Zac Efron, Adam Sandler, Justin Timberlake, right?
Yeah, they've all been through. Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez. Before me, I was there, but odds are we've talked to one of them.
So I gotta ask you then, what were you doing before you became the host of Young Hollywood, and then how did you become the host? There was like a interview process. How did you get the job, and what were you doing beforehand?
Yeah, so beforehand, so basically I started modeling when I was 5. So from like 5 to 16, I shot for Vogue, the cover of Newsweek, Children's Place, Barbie. Like I was modeling my whole life. And then when I got to be 16, I did a shoot with Gisele Bündchen, supermodel, Tom Brady's wife. Yeah. And that eventually got me signed with IMG Models, did that like whole thing, kept modeling till I was about 19 in New York City. And then while I was doing all that, like I was like, I want to do something out. Like I want to be a personality too. I didn't know I loved hosting, but I loved meeting people. So I created a couple shows. I don't know if you remember You Now, like social media, like OG. Do you remember You Now? Maybe not.
I remember the name, but I don't know if I haven't really followed any of that
Yeah.
in the
Right.
past.
So I did You Now. I had a show on there, like with IMG models. Like I produced and launched that. And then that kind of got me like, oh my God, I love talking to people. And then I was on Musical.ly before TikTok was Musical.ly. You know, I
Yeah.
did that whole thing.
Okay,
I had a
okay.
show there. And then I dived into TikTok and I was doing shows and then basically just moved out to LA. I was like, if I want to be a host, I need to be in LA. New York's modeling, you know, LA's LA.
Right.
And so I moved out here, made connections, met this like a really awesome guy that gave me the intro to Young Hollywood. They gave me a shot before like I am what I am now. And I always would watch Young Hollywood interviews and be like, I wish that was me. Like I want to sit on the couch. Like it was a whole thing. And then I like got the shot and I was like, oh my God, like dying before the first interview, like just like couldn't believe it. But it was awesome. Did that couple interviews and then COVID hit because this was like the year before COVID. COVID hit and then I just kind of talked to our CEO because I was super part-time before and I was like, look, like I want Young Hollywood, like I literally like is my life. Like I want to do anything I can to keep it going with figure out COVID and then just became more and more involved in hosting and everything.
So you mentioned modeling and hosting. So what's your like dream job then? Do you want to stay with Young Hollywood? What's after Young Hollywood? What's kind of your vision moving forward?
Vision moving forward. Okay, so like a lot of people don't know this about me, but I love sports. Like I'm a huge sports person. I was a Sports Illustrated kid reporter when I was 10, which really got me into it. And my sister's always been obsessed with sports, so like going to sporting games. So I would love my own talk show, and I know it's like Dream Bay, whatever. That's so annoying, but I would love to have my own talk show really bad. But specifically like showcasing athletes in like their personal lives versus the sport.
Okay.
But also like regular like TikTok. I love TikTokers. Like I love LA people. Like I haven't had really a bad experience. So I would want to do a talk show for like everybody, but specifically like I love sports. Like so I'd love to get into sports.
All right, we were talking about it. She wanted to be the next Erin Andrews.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Erin Andrews so much. I love her.
Maybe
I
you
love
can
her, like,
maybe you
obsessed.
could take Doris Burke's job and announce the
Yeah.
games. But that's
Yeah,
another
something like that.
that's another story.
Okay, cool. And how can people watch Young Hollywood? I obviously like saw the last two interviews on YouTube, and I think I read it's on Roku TVs and Amazon Fire Sticks, but I feel like everything is so digital now. So is it like on a television like network in LA, or how do people stream it?
First, you did your research. Like you're really good. So good job there.
We try to.
And,
Yeah, we try to.
Honestly, like my go-to source and I'm like literally creating the content is just like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Because a lot of the times it'll blow up on TikTok and people will be like, okay, I need to go see the full thing, and they go right to YouTube. But like Roku, we have like Fire Stick, like all that, and then we're hopefully doing more. But I would say if you're like really trying to look at it fast, go to Young Hollywood, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. That's like our like main where you're gonna get good.
Gotcha.
So I guess I'll ask this then. What is your like day to day, and more like, I guess directly, how do you decide on who to bring on next? Is it based on if they got like a new song out or they're hot right now? What's kind of your day to day, and then how do you decide to bring on guests and who they are?
Totally. So basically like our slogan is like what's in, what's hot, what's now. And like you guys consume TikTok content. Like if you see someone, you're like, okay, they're low-key blowing up, like they're everywhere. You know, like you want to see what they do off of TikTok. So like we'll reach out right away and be like, look, like we love you, like kind of thing. Like we're into you. Like we need to like showcase you, and like we'll bring them on. So deciding wise, like we're the same as everybody else. Like we're consuming the content that you are. We just happen to showcase them even further than that.
Awesome.
So I think if you are good, you're trending, people want to hear from you, like we're gonna reach out, like we want to collab, we like want to talk to you, kind of thing like that. And then for day to day, it's like eat, sleep, breathing Hollywood, but I love it. Like I'm obsessed. So with that, it's just booking, like finding talent, replying to emails, booking them. If we're in person, scheduling that, getting a team together, writing questions, shooting that. Like it's all over the place just because everything's changing so fast. But I would definitely say like there's no dull moment, and it's really fun.
Right. So Andy mentioned a little earlier that, you know, you've had a bunch of famous people on. You also mentioned TikTok. You had Josh Richards, Griffin Johnson and stuff. What would you say, or who would you say is your biggest guest, like fame wise? Do you have a biggest guest?
Fame wise, I mean, a lot has changed because of COVID. Because who's famous now is not who's famous I was interviewing like before. Like everything changed. Like everyone's famous, but like I would say who I personally would think that is really big that we've had on, honestly, the Sway, like the Sway Boys, of course, like they're just like they're in. Summer Rae was pretty big just because like
It's
she has 25 million on Instagram, of course.
Right.
But yeah, I would say, and like SJ, and Tony Lopez, they did big numbers. So honestly, I think probably a lot right now, like the TikTokers that we've had on, Josh Richards, Griffin Johnson, Summer.
so then who would you say is it different of your favorite guest? Who was your favorite guest to bring on?
Favorite guest. Sometimes
Everyone's
you like
listening
click
out
with
there.
people and everything. It's funny because like I call my mom after every interview and I'm like, oh my God, I love them. And she's like, you say that every time. Like you can't just like love every single person you talk to. And I know like as a reporter, like you want just a name and like whatever. But I haven't had a bad experience with anybody. So I would say like it's hard. Like I just love anybody that's come in person and Zoom too, of course, but I just literally like any one of them.
What
Like, there's really not bad.
So who's the most relatable like to you then? Instead of maybe your favorite, but who's like a relatable person to you?
And then what's a bad experience? Just so maybe we interview people all the time, but I don't think we've dealt with a bad experience yet.
Right.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
I would say most relatable. Okay, JJ. She has 17 million on TikTok. I really don't know how to pronounce her last name because it's so hard because she was like, oh my God, don't pronounce my name. It's literally just JJ. But she was really relatable. Like she was just blunt. She was honest. I literally was obsessed with her. I loved her. We hung out afterwards. And then bad experience wise, I don't know but I would assume like a bad experience would be like them not talking, not giving good answers, not wanting to be there. You know what I mean? Like if you had someone come on Zoom and they were just like, okay, what's the question? And like,
yeah. And just like not, yeah. I mean, I guess we've had people like that in some questions or like look away and like not making eye contact. We're like, okay, maybe we shouldn't clip that one as the highlight reel. So, okay.
Exactly. Like usually when TikTokers come or like celebrities, you are on Young Hollywood or you're on like an interview for a reason because they want to know about a certain subject. In the back of your mind, we might not ask about it, but we want to know about it. Just like you guys, like you're gonna want to talk to me about guy stuff. Like that's in your mind. You want to know. So like I'm gonna get and like give you good answers, hopefully, because that's what you ultimately want to know. So it's like one of those things. Like if they are open, they're perfect.
And I feel like that's a lot easier in person too. To like you get to kind of feel the energy, and then Zoom is kind of just like I'm sitting in my like basement and just hanging out type feel. So
okay, cool. Well, we're chatting with Jolie Live. Is that your actual last name, Live?
That's not my actual last name.
It's not?
I got it because I started modeling when I was 5. So my mom was like, let's just give her a new last name for like a hot sec.
What's your last name? What was the last name over there?
Rice. R-I-C-E. Rice.
Okay,
Jolie
cool.
Rice.
Okay.
But we were going to get rid of that real quick. That's not going to be the name. No.
All right, so we're keeping out Jolie Live. We got Jolie Live hanging out with us, co-host and producer of Young Hollywood. I tell you what isn't so Hollywood is Liam and I's game. So at our age, you like how I did that? Okay, cool. At our age, people are either buying homes, getting married, or eating each other's faces off on Broadway here in Nashville, Tennessee. And so we talk about the modern day dating world, getting ghosted and everything in between. So I guess we're just going to talk. We're going to dive into some topics and questions and get a female's perspective on things.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm ready.
All right, guys, listen up. This is the first topic here. We got dating. Let's see here. Where do we start? Last week, Liam and I talked about how meeting people organically was difficult nowadays, especially with all the dating apps, right? Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, whatever you got out there, we're all using it. And so how do you meet? What would your advice be to someone who's trying to meet someone organically?
Organically?
Yeah.
If you guys know, let me know. But organically, how to meet someone, I would say, honestly, it is so hard because of COVID. So I think Do you mean like not on a dating app?
Yeah, because we were at the bar last weekend, and my boys are like making a round. I'm gonna go take a lap, go to the dance floor. They come back empty-handed, and I'm like, "How was it?" He was like, "I spent a couple, shots on some girls, and they didn't want to talk to me after that." And some other boy was like, "So how do you? It's so hard to meet someone organically." And I think Liam was saying it's like it might be the venues that we're going to because we're going to like all the Broadway
You
bars.
definitely have to go to the right spot. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know your spots, but like in LA, you know the spots to go and you'll just go to them. Like, I don't really know post COVID world yet. But like, should I keep going? Or
Yeah, you can keep going. That's fine.
Oh, like you just know the right place and everything. So I think that's a huge factor. But I would think like advice for guys on how to like if you're doing this in person and you're going up and hitting on someone at the bar or something, immediately you know the vibe. Because I send the vibe immediately. I'm like, look, you are going to sense that I do not want to talk to you, or like I want to talk to you, or I'll entertain it to see where this goes.
Right.
But guys, if you get the vibe, they're not into it, don't waste your money. Just kind of be like, this was fun and keep going. And they'll come back around if they're like, wait a second. Like, I actually like he's playing hard to get or whatever it would be. But like,
so how do you know as a like from a guy, me going to a bar, how do I know like the mindset of the girl without, really knowing like what their intentions are
I think
for
a
that
big
night?
part is that you just have to be attractive, dude. Like it don't even matter if you got game or not, but like
But see, some girls will go to a bar knowing that night that like they are just with the girls and hanging out and not really looking for anything. And then some girls, on the other hand, are like, "Hey, I'm going out. I would like to, meet somebody, maybe possibly take it further or whatever that may be for the night." So how do you know that going into it, like as at the bar, instead of like not knowing? I guess I don't really know how to word that.
From personal experience, I think if you see it's a big group, then it's girls' night, like obviously, or whatever. But if it's like 2 or 3 total or whatever, go do it. They're probably there with the intentions of we'll see what happens. Like hopefully I meet a hot guy, like whatever happens. So I think the amount of people actually is a real thing, and how much they might be like taking selfies and on their phone. Because I think if you're doing that, you don't really like you're trying to showcase like you're having fun with the girls. But yeah, I would say, I mean, you have to talk, but just read the room, dude. Like if it's the vibe there, the vibe's there. If it's not, go hit on somebody else.
Okay, it might be the shots we're buying for him. We gotta stop with the tequila, maybe go lemon drop over there.
Don't do the drink right away. Like just feel them out first if they're worthy of the drink.
Okay, cool. Okay, because Liam was talking about the venue and maybe if it's more of a low key, like nice ambiance place, See, that's even harder though, dude. That's like a date night bar. You know what I'm saying?
You have to have balls to go over there.
But if the girl is just, maybe 1 or 2 girls are sitting at the bar by themselves, I feel like that's almost easier, at least for me, to go up and say, hey, how you guys doing tonight? What do you, instead of like when they're like maybe drunk or something or had a couple of drinks and they're just like at a place where it's like that's acceptable and they're just there to have a good time. I think that's almost even harder sometimes. I don't know. That could be me. But
okay, what about we're just gonna kind of hop all over the place here, but so for dating wise, like I've talked to different girls and not at the same time, but like I've had a girl that said, I like you, but I'm either busy, I got something going on, and I'm like, bullshit, dude. So it's like, so I feel like that's something that we've also kind of like encountered, like after maybe like, I don't know, going out with somebody on a dating app or anything like that. Shout out to a girl on Chicago Hoop last weekend she was cool. But it's just like, we just noticed that like, especially throughout COVID, like Bumble has been like a huge thing. And then like now that, everyone's been vaccinated, hopefully go get your vaccine and everyone's just kind of going crazy. It's like, post COVID, there's like more people out than pre-COVID. Should guys be okay with girls not wanting to put a title on the relationship? Been there and I've been on the other side of things.
That's an absolute yes. It's literally a thing. Like it's like girls like on TikTok are uniting to have hot girl summer, and everyone has been cooped up in the house for more than a year. No one's trying to commit. Like
Right.
in my like opinion, I think like what I've been seeing in my friends and stuff like that, like you have not left the house for a year, like you've been trying to use a dating app, like you need to go live again. Like live your life, live your best life, hot girl summer. Like I don't think a girl might be so into you, but she might not want to be like have a label. Like you could be so into somebody or whatever, but it's like commitment is just a big thing right now, and especially for our age. So just keep it chill. Like you guys do you and see what happens, but I don't think that it's a summer of commitment at all.
Okay.
Gotcha. That's what we were kind of thinking, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think
I mean, we can't do anything about that.
You can't stop us now.
Yeah. This is very hard to stop. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got anything else on that topic, Hoop?
No, we can move on. We got a
Okay,
couple
toxic
here.
relationships. Let's do it. So
I'm gonna let Andy take over this one. He's gonna lead in because he's got firsthand experience about this one. So
yeah, so I've been with two girls long term. I guess my first one was in high school, so I guess it didn't really count. But the second one was last year. I was with a girl in school, and then we both moved up to Chicago at different times. She moved up there right after we graduated. I waited for the summer, and then once I got to Chicago, I was still like interning around, and she had everything good to go. So I was still trying to just find my niche. And I also, for me, didn't want to put a title on things just because I was like just trying to figure out my life, which is maybe an excuse of just trying to hook up with other girls. Partially, maybe the other side, no. But then it kind of got to like, I guess where she was putting all her happiness into me and like ditching her friends, and her friends didn't like me. And then at the same time, I couldn't be happy for her and any of her successes because I wasn't happy with myself. And so we ended up parting ways because of that. But I think the biggest thing I learned out of a toxic relationship is that no one, even in the healthiest relationship, should be at the mercy of their partner being in total control of their happiness. So I guess that was a big thing for me. And why it got so toxic was just because someone was putting all of their energy into me and I couldn't reciprocate that back. And then it just got to a bunch of arguing. So have you ever been into a toxic relationship? And then when do you know, I guess, because I didn't realize that I realized that I was in one, but I wanted to stay in that because I didn't want to lose that person.
Totally. I mean, I think that honestly, like I've had like my fair share of like definitely toxic situations where it was just like, I know this is so bad for me, but I just love it so much kind of thing. But I think the one thing that I totally will stick with and like just kind of like what my mom and dad have always said and how the type of person I am is that you need to have your own life, and then you need to have like your partner has their own life, and then you live life together because you're both comfortable in your own lives. So like a lot of things, it's like it's not going to work out right now because of timing, and that's like so hard to understand and everything. But it's like with your situation, it sounds like she was fine and everything, but like you wanted to have you wanted to be happy with yourself and your job, your career, like whatever was going on with you. So you couldn't be there for her. So which made it toxic, obviously. Right. So I think like
that's my biggest thing.
You need to have your own lives. Like you just need to like live together and like bring those lives together. But like if you are literally like living for the other person, it's never going to work out.
That's
like you need to be happy with yourself.
Yeah, because that's kind of my mantra too, is like, hey, all right, you should be happy by yourself. I should be happy by myself. I should be financially stable. You should be financially stable. Right. And because if this doesn't work out, I don't want to be able to rely on you for like, my financial, happiness or whatever, or just happiness in general. So that's my kind of like MO on things, is like, that's when if it's through all that, you guys can still make it work, then that's a good, healthy relationship.
Yeah. And Julie, what you were talking about is what we call a Sour Patch Kid. So it's like that person that isn't good for you deep down, but you keep hanging out with them and hoping they're going to change.
Yes. Please don't go. Please don't leave.
I was a Sour Patch Kid, you eat too many of those, your stomach just doesn't feel good. That's what I was.
Right.
And
like, it's so good at the taste, and you're like, oh, I love Sour Patch so much. But then you're like, I feel like it.
That's what it was. And not to mention, shit, my ex just moved to Hawaii. Hoop. She got into another relationship like a month after. And then, it probably wasn't the best. All right, so like going back to dating, like I think in the past, what was that? Almost a year and a half ago, that next 6, 7 months, came back to Nashville, lost my job, COVID, everything else, and then I was, I guess I was beating myself down about the mistakes that I had made, and then I was trying to find happiness from someone else that I didn't even have to begin with myself. So I started trying to give the keys out to other people and was pretty much expecting them to make me happy. And I was trying to find that like one thing that my ex had into another person. I was like, damn, dude, like I can't find it. And it was just the only thing that I couldn't find was happiness. So that's pretty much what I found. And we were just wondering if you ever been in like a toxic relationship like that. Does hooking up on the first date ruin the chances of the other person really liking you? It's another question that we had.
I personally don't think so, but I mean, I can only say it from my side. It would have to depend on the other person's. And also, I feel like depends on the person, how long you've been talking, like what the vibe is and stuff like that. But I would definitely say it just happens on the situation, but I don't think it does. No.
Okay.
Is being too aggressive on the first date something?
Yes.
Okay.
Depending like the aggression level, there's definitely a way to be too aggressive, but like it really depends on the situation. But I do think there's a way of being like too aggressive with it.
I think there's one question though that I kind of always want to ask people, but or girls in general, is like, so there's like girls' night and there's guys' night, which we kind of touched on. What is it like 50-50 split between I can have 50% of your, the guys' time and then you guys get 50%? So where do we get like the middle ground of like actually hanging out together? Where's that line of like, you always having girls' night. I don't really, So what's that line? Is it always 50-50 or should the guys let the girls do more in terms of that? What's that kind of sense?
Are you thinking of it as in the talking stage?
Correct. Kind of like just getting to know. I'm not actually title on the relationship, but like I want to hang out with you and you're always, hanging out with the girls. Where's that line?
Well, even in the toxic relationship topic, like my ex ditched her friends all the time to hang out with me, and so she ended up ruining those relationships.
Yeah, you gotta be careful because that happened with like one of my old friends. Like we're not really friends anymore, but she would pick like hanging out with him, and I was like, dude, like you're in the talking stage, you're in the lust, that's fine. Like go do you. Like I'm so happy for you that you're finding that. But like once you're past that lust and it's been a few weeks or like a couple months or whatever, and we're still not hanging out because you're choosing him, like
right.
You need to not do that. So I think it's communication between your like the partner and the friends, because like you can take a like quick offense to that. But like me personally, like if I'm obsessed with you and want to hang out with you, I'm gonna do everything in my power. I don't care. Like I don't care. But it would be a point where I'm like, but I can't keep ditching my friends. But I think like for 50-50, I think it should be 50-50, like between friends and your partner, just because like you can't lose your life to try to have a life with someone else. Like you need to like maintain your relationships like before, during, and after like the relationship.
What if you aren't friends? Like the guy isn't friends with the girls.
That's what I was gonna say, because you almost had to be friends with the other girls to make it like a better relationship with the girl herself.
Right. So you're saying like your person's or your partner's friends, like are you all friends?
So like for me, if the girl that I'm talking to or whatever, I'm not friends with her friends. Does that I don't like them? Yeah, is that bad?
Good luck. Hopefully they like you, because if not, I don't you're screwed. Have a good night.
That's too funny.
Like if you like, she's not gonna just drop, like it depends, but if that's bad if she does. But if she just drops all her friends for you, like okay. But like don't be a bad guy and the friends won't hate you. Like you might have a weird vibe or something. I don't know. Like that's different than not liking you.
Right. What if they like me and they're like, it's okay, but I just don't like her friends? What's that?
I feel like that might be fine.
What if I
really attract them, I guess. Like just you gotta suck it up. But if you're getting like if you're like, oh, this is the one, good luck. I don't know.
Yeah. If it is the one hoop, which we all know it is, dude. We all know it
You
is.
gotta just work that out. Like you just have to do that with yourself. You just have to like them.
Okay, cool. So last question we have in the toxic relationship is, can women have guy best friends and a committed relationship and guys cannot?
Okay, so yes, girls can absolutely have like, I think it's just trust. These are such basic answers, but like that's what I think. But basically, like if you're with someone, you want them to trust you, kind of thing. So make sure they trust you and like go in warning them, because like I've been in a situation where I was best friends with the guy and he got a girlfriend, and then the girlfriend was like, like you need to just not ever talk to her again. And I'm like, why?
Right.
But like I think the advice would be like, if you're having trouble, so like basically that girl needed to talk to me. Like she didn't need to just keep telling him to stop talking to me. Like get to know the girl you feel threatened by or the guy you feel threatened by. Like get to know them to realize they're not a bad human being. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel like you got some
Take the time to
intimidation
do
going
that.
on with you though.
Me?
Yeah.
There's a little.
That I have a bigger issue going on? I mean, they broke up, so.
Yeah. See, I knew that was coming. Well, what about what about see, I agree with that though. Like I think that like sex has to be completely off the table. Like you can be, you can have that girl best friend or you can have that guy best friend, but it almost has to be like if they get fucking naked, like it almost has to be as gross as like seeing your sibling naked.
Yeah, it has
Okay.
to be that. Yeah.
Okay. But I definitely trust women having more guy best friends than say like myself having girl best friends. But I have girl best friends and I don't think of them like that. But I think for the stereotype, like guys having girl best friends is like, we're just out here to mate, dude. I wouldn't trust myself doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. She's like, who the fuck are these guys and what did I sign up for? Okay, cool. So we got red flags. Last thing before we do a fun little game with you called Shooting the Shit to end of these just quick rapid fire questions. But we got red flags here. So I guess immediate red flags. What are immediate red flags for girls? Maybe you talked about at the bar, immediate red flags. Like what's a weird thing that a guy maybe say to you at a bar, or just what's a red flag in general?
I think a red flag is one for me is you can tell they're a player just because they're too they're too cocky, or they just come with a lot of like confidence is the sexiest thing ever. Like if you come with a lot of confidence, yes, there's a difference between being cocky and confident. Like a red flag is literally if you know that they literally just go around and talk to other girls. Because if you fall for the guy that talks to everybody and doesn't want to commit and all that, like you're just gonna get screwed over. So like too cocky and just kind of arrogant and just not like treating you like that right, like good right away, red flag. Another red flag is, let's see.
So you're pretty much talking about like a fuck boy right there. And how do you stay away from being a fuck boy? Because for me, I'm actually a really nice guy. Like I don't go up to girls because I don't know if I don't have the confidence because I'm a confident person, but like going up to girls and spending my money because they ain't gonna talk to me after that, dude. They're just not gonna do it. And then just like, I don't know, but like I've gone out on dates and like, I've done this and then gotten ghosted after a couple dates, like not even after the first one, after like the third or fourth one, don't know why. And I've almost just like, well, fuck, dude, like kind of pissed. Do I turn into a fuck boy? I don't want to be a fuck boy, but like how do you avoid the fuck boy stage? If we just keep getting screwed over, do we turn into the fuck boy?
That's the thing. Because realistically hold on. I don't know what's happening there. Okay, sorry. I think like the real thing is that like you get turned into one, based like if you've been hurt, like you're not going to care about anything and anyone, you're just going to do you kind of thing. So I think it just goes both ways, because a lot of times like it's like guys are the victims and everything, but it's like because y'all got hurt. Like I get it. Like y'all are hurt. But
pocket's feeling light over here, man.
Do you have any more red flags? Any more big red flags?
Yeah, I feel like I do, for sure.
What about this? What about is like one thing that if a guy does, maybe when you first meet him, maybe when you first start talking to him, or even maybe in a relationship, like there's one thing that if he does, it's like, nah. Besides like the big obvious like
Right.
cheating and stuff like that. But like,
what about a red flag if you're talking to someone and you don't show them off on social media?
I don't think it's a red flag.
Well, girls
If he's
ain't
not-
doing it. You ain't showing anybody off. I know how all
I
that
mean,
is.
like if he's not posting you, don't take that as a red, like it's not a bad sign. Like he's not gonna do it. But if you're not either, then like you can't be mad. You can't
Right.
be mad.
Manager
Doesn't
is
mean
saying,
want
don't you
to, but
dare
doesn't
put
mean
him
you're going
on.
to.
Okay.
It's a red flag if he is like you're hanging out or whatever and he's hiding his phone a lot or he's on it a lot. And like, or it depends the situation. If you know who the ex is, just like from social media stalking, because takes 2 seconds to find out who someone's ex is. If their name pops down as like a Snapchat or whatever, like obviously that's a red flag. But it's like one of those things, stop, immediately leave.
Yeah.
Because they're still talking to their ex. You know what I mean? Like if they're snapping, that's meaning something kind of thing. And if they're always on their phone, that's such a turn off. Like I hang out with me. Why do you need to talk to anybody else? Like we're together.
Right.
It's not like we're
Okay.
not together.
I think I've been through all these situations, man. I've learned a lot. So what
Been through
about,
it.
I think, yeah, I was a fuckboy, you know, like in my last relationship, like I did all of that. Like I hid my phone. I changed names on my phone, like just all the stuff. And I just wasn't ready. That's pretty much what it was. But I think another red flag for me, at least, is someone who hasn't been broken up with. So like everyone's annoying.
Someone needs their heart broken in life. That's just a thing. Like I think everybody should go through like the stage where they're hurt and they're just like talking to anyone. Everyone doesn't mean you have to hook up. Nothing. Like everyone needs to go through a heartbreak phase. Like I just think that's like a thing. Like I think you just need to be heartbroken at one point in your life to realize like really value like and know what you like and stuff going forward. So
Okay, cool. All right. You got anything else for that one?
no, I think we can
Okay,
we can
cool.
go into shooting the shit if you want.
Yeah, let's shoot the shit, dude. Let's shoot the shit. Okay, cool. Once again, you are tuning into Man to Man. We're on Dash Radio. We got co-host and producer of Young Hollywood, Jolie Live, just messing with, rocking with us, putting us on game for future situations. I guess we'll let you know how it goes here in a couple months after Hot Girl Summer. And then so we're just gonna do this game called Shooting the Shit. These are just quick rapid fire questions. Whatever comes to mind first, let us hear it. All right, here we go. First one, guys 6 feet and above. I'm 5'9".
oh boy.
It matters. Just say it matters.
Yeah, height's the number one thing. Keep going.
Yeah, that's what we thought. Okay, next. Liam, you pushing 6 over there, dude?
I'm right at 6 feet, man.
You were not at 6, dude.
I'm right under it, right under it.
Yeah, that's what.
5'11 and a half. That's what I say.
Okay, with double pairs of socks on. Gotcha. All right. Best party you ever been to?
Best party I've ever been to. Let's see. I went to one of the TikTok houses.
There you go. What one?
Which one? Yeah, which one we talking there?
They were at the time a different one, but they're just a house LA now.
Okay.
That one was pretty hype.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. We'll hit the TikTok houses here soon. Hope. Most famous when we get there, man. I trust you. We'll get there. Most famous person that slid into the DMs.
Oh god.
Yeah, we putting you on spot right now.
Trey Songz.
I mean,
Trey
who?
Songz. Trey
Trey
Songz.
Songz slid into the DMs.
the rapper.
What do you say? Yeah, we know who Trey Songz is. What do you say?
He's hot.
Just
Just hi.
You go on a date with Trey Songz or no?
I did not. I did
Okay.
not.
Damn it, Trey. Vice versa.
That I slid in?
Yeah, who you shooting?
Who have I slid in their DMs? Hayes Greer. He's like not that famous. Who else? I would slide to Jimmy Garoppolo. I can't ever say his last
Garoppolo.
name.
Garoppolo. Yeah, he's hanging out with the P Stars.
Oh.
Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he's hanging
No.
out with the P Stars over there. You've seen that? He is. He's taking P Stars out on 5-star restaurants.
Come on, bro.
No way.
No, yeah, it's what it is. He did that. Okay, so what song do you secretly listen to?
Seriously listen to? I mean, anything Gunna, anything Lil Baby.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with them.
Top 5 Spotify artists this year?
Yeah, it was definitely Gunna, Lil Baby. That's about it.
Okay, cool. Choice of
Next.
beverage.
Beverage, water. I don't drink.
No, nothing.
Literally, I don't drink. So
Good for
water.
you. Good for you.
No Coke, no Sprite, nothing like that.
Water with lemon.
Lime. I like lime better than lemon.
I don't think I've ever had lime in a water. Someone said they did lemon and lime with the water or in the water. I don't think
Like
I tried
a
it.
makeshift Sprite, like the basically disgusting kind.
Okay, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but does a girls' night out exclude random guys or guys in general?
A girls' night.
Yeah, because what's the girls' night out? Like, what's up? What's up with that?
Okay,
Like,
if it goes out girls' night, it might be labeled girls' night. It might be just like a night for the girls. They'll never turn down a guy if they're attracted to them. So there's no such thing
Right.
as actual girls' night. Like it includes like meeting someone.
At the very end of the night, they just come rolling through eventually.
right.
We know about that.
You have someone lined up, like you're in the back of your mind, you're hitting somebody up, like you're hoping to meet somebody. Like there's no such thing as just a girls' night.
Yeah,
Like
we know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even if the boyfriend like lets the girlfriend go out, like she's still hitting him up like at night.
Yeah.
But she probably getting hit on the whole time at the bar. You just gotta trust it, I guess. Trust the process. Okay. Favorite athlete growing up?
OBJ, love that man.
Man, you hear about what OBJ did though, right?
I know, but I love Lolo. I don't know what he likes. I don't know what, like, whatever, but I like him. I like OBJ a lot.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Guilty.
Guilty.
I don't know if I like what he does. But
No,
but I like
we
his athlete.
we rock with OBJ. Very handsome guy. You got a guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure. Posting thirst traps. I don't know. It's my private story.
That's fair. Okay, cool. If you could eat dinner with one person dead or alive, who would it be?
Eat dinner with one person dead or alive. Probably eat dinner with Tom Brady.
Okay. And Giselle or just T?
Well, me and Giselle go way back. So Giselle
Yeah.
can join.
So you already
Giselle
okay.
Giselle can.
Okay. Okay, cool. This is almost a serious one, but you don't have to make it serious. If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
I would not make it serious. I'd be like, follow me on Instagram.
That's what I thought. We thought you would say something like that. We thought you would say something like that. Okay, cool.
Nope. Hit the gram. Hit the follow.
Hit that damn follow, dude. We're just trying to get follows out here to make it in life.
The world. I'd be like, shout out NFL, hire me, follow me on Instagram.
Yeah. OBJ, where you at? Okay, cool. You got do you have a dream car?
It's so I've always wanted a Mustang, the car Billie Eilish has.
You look like a Mustang person.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, good, because I would buy that car in 2 seconds if I could.
What color Mustang would you get?
Black everything. Like I only want black cars.
Okay. That's another question then. It's not even on here. What's like
Yes, it matters what a guy drives.
Okay. No, okay. That wasn't what I was. Shoot, that matters, but that's only in LA. Who we ain't got to worry about that, dude. What about how a guy dresses? We haven't asked that, but Liam, you know me, I'm changing like 5 times before I go out. And
he changes more than my ex-girlfriend did when we were dating. Like he spends like 45 minutes to an hour to get ready and try outfits on.
For the height.
I have to make up for the height. I'm telling you.
He's got a drip.
Oh
but then I end up wearing all black, and I'm like, this will do it. What do you think about that?
I think a guy's style is one of the most attractive things about them. Like if you have a drip, like, yeah, I like you. Like you have to have good style. Like get in Jordans, throw on some Jordans. Get a nice like snapback. But it's style is it's like number one. And girls are attracted, like they might not think you're like attracted to you, but then they'll see your style and everything, and they could give you a shot. So yeah. Okay. But if you're going out like to a bar or whatever, it's dark, like you changing 5 times and settling on an all black, that's fine too. But you just have to look good in your clothes.
Well, I've been starting to wear some rings, and then I went to hang out with some people last weekend. And they're like, you know what'd be hot is like black nails on you and like dangling earrings. I'm like, for real?
No.
Black? Or not black.
A certain type of girl. Like you're just like certain type of girls are gonna hit on you and like you.
Black nails, dude. Hold up now. I ain't wiggle dicking on TikTok just yet. Okay.
Little Huddy's come be the next Little Huddy.
I know. I was looking at his style the other day, and I was like, he can pull it off, but there's no way I'm pulling that off. Okay, cool. Thanks. LeBron or MJ? We are on the basketball channel. MJ all the way. You see the MJ?
I just watched The Last Dance. Last Dance literally like a couple days ago. Oh my God, that man.
Good.
Oh, that man. Literally, probably now like I'd have dinner with him. There. Just kidding.
Who's who do you think is more attractive, Oubre or Devin Booker?
Because Devin Booker is like kind of hot right now in the cloud and the everything him. Just because current events.
Okay. Cool. All right. Last one. Thanks for hanging out with us, Julie. We asked all of our interviewees this best NBA show out there. NBA The Jump, Inside NBA, or our show Man to Man.
Your show, Man to Man. My new
Come on
favorite.
now. We're clipping that one. We're clipping it, Hoop. All righty. Co-host and producer of Young Hollywood, Jolie Live. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you. Thanks for chatting with us. Where can people find you on social media, and where can people find Young Hollywood, I guess, on social media?
Totally. Also, thank you. You guys are dope. And then for following me, I'm just Jolie Live at all my TikTok, Instagram, everything's Jolie Live. And then Young Hollywood is Young Hollywood. So you can literally just look it up and you can find us anywhere, probably.
Okay, pretty self-explanatory there. All right, Jolie Live. The next, Aaron Andrews.
Maybe Oprah with Aaron. Maybe let's combine those two.
See what happens. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. I guess continue to hot girl summer on, and then we'll let you know if we get any girlfriends here.
Yeah, you guys better ruin someone's hot girl summer.
Oh shoot, man, we're trying over here if they give us the chance. All right, Jolie, we'll talk to you soon, and we appreciate you coming on. Take care. All right.
Thank you guys so much.
Jolie Live, man. I'll tell you what, we're gonna let her know if we get some girlfriends. Ain't no win after that talk, but hey, we learned a lot here. Jolie Live, go check her out. Super cool. Found her on TikTok a couple months ago, and I said, hey, let's get this chick on, and she's awesome. She's killing it at the age of 22. Host and producer of Young Hollywood. It's been around for a minute. Like we were talking about, the major celebrities, all of them have pretty much gone through this thing. Started in 2005. It's like it's like a TMZ, but without the drama. And they've had all the celebrities on, and she's going to be the next Aaron Andrews is what it looks like. So we appreciate her taking the time out and talking to the boys and preaching a little bit of gossip here and there. I don't know if I guess I told you, Hoop, and off air, I told you this. I kind of just blacked out through the whole thing because I was trying to mentally take notes in my mind, but everything just kept going word after word. So I was like, hold up now. But it was a good convo, dude. And I don't think I've ever had like a long conversation like that. I mean, I have, but with someone super random like that just kind of gets it. I will say she's living that LA vibes. So I don't know, Hoop, if we're taking everything from it, the whole drip thing, you got to give me a second on the drip, dog. Okay, listen. And then the height thing, nothing I can do about it. I still don't know if you're pushing 6 feet, but if I took anything from it, man, it's obviously not be a fuckboy. Don't turn into that whole fuckboy status. That doesn't work. And guys, if you want to go up to the bar and entertain a lady, do it with confidence and don't be cocky about it, right? There's a definite difference between the cocky and confidence. So we appreciate you guys listening to that. And Liam, if you got anything from it, let me know, dude. We're just gonna kind of rip it after this one.
Yeah, it was good to sit down with a female perspective and see her side of things for sure, because we sit here and talk every week about our girl problems and our weekends and stuff like that, and we don't really ever get to see and hear the other side. We
talk about it. I was gonna say we talk about it, but there's never a solution
right
after we talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So we're always just ranting about it. And last week I told you I was content with everything, blah blah blah, and whatever comes, man. But I think it was a solid conversation. But yes, to your point, no, we never really figure anything out. The boys don't got a damn clue what's going on out here. Appreciate it, Jolie. We're gonna send them some merch. Hopefully she rocks the merch, man. So speaking of merch, got new merch coming out, but yeah, it was cool. I liked it a lot. She's catching those UVs there, and it was just kind of interesting how we interviewed, the interviewer.
Yeah.
And so I was telling you, Hoop, I said, fuck, we got to do this the right way, man. I had a little bit of jitters before this one. I said, we can't mess this one up. She's going to call us out. When she started talking about the she's never had a bad interview. I started clicking in the back of my mind. I said, well, this better not be the bad interview right here, because I don't know what to say after that. What do you take from that, dude?
It was good. I think she was obviously, she's used to interviewing people, and you could tell that she's, used to the whole like answering questions and getting, just good answers in terms of what we ask. But yeah, I'm glad she came on. I think I feel a little more, I got a little sense of clarity. Maybe she helped out, like you said. She gave us some advice, but I don't know if we're going to take all of it, because not all of it applies to everyone. But if it does apply to you, take it and run with it, right?
I think the biggest thing for you got to just watch out, right? There's these different types of lady bros out there, but I do think a lot of them, right? What she was saying everyone's been inside for a year, right? Everyone wants to go out. Everyone wants to have a good time. Everyone wants to get back to normal. So guys, man, I'm not going to call out names, but I know I've known guys who push that limit to girls, and they're it almost seems like they're talking to a brick wall. And these girls are showing me text messages. It's like, come on, guys. Like, that's the thing. I've never done that. I've done some, hey, listen, let's hang, blah, 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 and kind of get annoying. But, there's definitely like guys out there that just don't get, like, they don't read the room and they don't get the social cues, and then they don't know when to stop. And going back to my point, everyone's been inside for a minute. So even guys, listen, man, if you guys are out there struggling, being impatient, I have friends that are impatient with trying to find girls right now at the bars, and just patience is virtue, man. I think that's another thing I've just come to closure with. It's like, just wait on it. Don't force it, because when you force it, it might not even be the right situation. And when someone finds another person, usually you'd want it to come naturally. You don't want to go through all these dating apps and everything else. When you find another person that you really enjoy and like hanging out with, it does come organically. And so forcing yourself is what I've learned to come out, like pushing myself to meet people. It might not be the best situation, but for the right reasons, if that makes sense.
Right. I think you hit it on the head with we talked about meeting somebody organically, and that relationship is going to be so much more, I guess,
meaningful.
Meaningful, and you're going to enjoy getting to know that person more organically. And and I think that we had a little bit of that conversation. It is hard to meet somebody organically, but when you do and you wait and not, put a whole bunch of pressure on it, it happens, and it's really good. But let's get away from that real quick. Let's touch on.
I was going to say, we are on the basketball channel.
Let's touch on.
With us, listen, if we still talk about basketball, we're going to rip it for you here. What you got, Hoop?
Let's touch on the basketball real quick. I think the biggest story that we see from this weekend, Nets and Bucks tie the series. The Bucks tie the series 2-2 after Kyrie goes down with an ankle injury. He got some x-rays. They were negative. He's still going to go under treatment, but that leaves the Nets without James Harden and without Kyrie. We saw today that KD, one of the three, wasn't quite enough to beat a good Bucks team, which they look like they're starting to click it. And obviously it's easier when you don't have to face Kyrie and KD.
Right.
And that's what kind of we saw today. They took advantage of the situation and tied up the series. What do you got on that?
Lowest scoring points for the Nets all season in that last game. And it was the same thing at halftime or going into the third quarter, still like 9 minutes left. They're like 48 points. So shout out to the Bucks. They need that Jrue Holiday pick. I think Jrue Holiday was huge on the defensive end just for the Bucks, because I think if they didn't make a play after the season last year, then it would have been bye-bye for Giannis. And I think he believed in that organization, and patience is virtue, right? But I will say, I'll stick by what I said. And I said, whoever's going to win this series will win the NBA Finals. And it's kind of, where is James Harden? James Harden has to play next game. I think he has to. He still got the hamstring,
right?
Because I think you got to play through that. And I mean, it could be the same situation as we saw in AD, but you got to get out there and put everything on the line for your team. So shout out to Giannis, shout out to them. They're doing big things over there. But besides that, I think whoever wins this series obviously makes it to the NBA Finals. And then on the other side, we're looking at what the Jazz Phoenix, about to sweep the Nuggets here. So, and we're probably like 6:40 on a Sunday night here, but I can definitely see this Phoenix Suns team going very far too. I think it's Phoenix, Utah, and the Nets and 76ers, because 76ers have showed themselves. And like you were saying, I'll take it. I'll put your words into my own mouth, and it's that people get too overly excited after the first game of that Hawks game.
Right.
So shout out to you, very knowledgeable right there, very knowledgeable statement. And we're kind of seeing who the teams are right now, but this is the series to watch.
Yeah, I like it. I want to ask you one quick question, because I think the 76ers will take care of business. I think the Suns obviously will take care of business. Jazz look too dominant right now. I guess the biggest question is, do the Nets, without James Harden and Kyrie, which I kind of asked you if they're not with James Harden last week, are they going to win this series without both of them if it comes to that?
It's a good question. I don't know. It's going to be a tough testament. I
Yeah.
have no idea. You can't
Sometimes that's the best answer. You don't know.
throw out KD, but I'll tell you what, when Giannis and Chris Middleton are combining for a third of the total team's points, it looks good, yes, but if you're going to even beat the Nets, you're going to need other those role players, and we see it with the Phoenix Suns and the Utah Jazz. So that's all I'll say about that. I don't know. If they keep balling, yes, they will probably beat the Nets with only KD, but you're going to need those role players to step up, as well as the Nets on the other end.
For sure. But with that, guys, I think this episode is going to come to a wrap. Thanks again for Jolie Live coming on and chatting with the boys. If you guys want to keep up with us daily, man-to-man podcast on all social media platforms. But with that, I'm going to namaste these fools out of here, okay? Namaste to you guys. Namaste.
Namaste, Jolie. We appreciate it. Shit.